Welcome to another Titanium Geek video. I'm Dave Owen and this is This Week in Indoor Cycling, TWIC. We've never done it before, it's a new feature on here. I hope you'll enjoy it going forward. Obviously in the title we're going to do it every week, so please like and subscribe and turn on your notifications down below. I'm trying to build the channel and it'd be great for you to get really involved with this, as you'll see with some of the content we're going to be putting on today. So the biggest thing going on this week in indoor cycling is Zwift teaming up with ASO and creating the virtual Tour de France 2020. As you will have seen, this is going over 3 weekends. It involves Grand Tour teams. It's without doubt the biggest thing that's ever happened in indoor cycling since probably the invention of the turbo trainer. It is pretty huge and some amazing things have happened. We've got new courses. We've seen World Tour professionals like Mathieu van der Poel beaten by seasoned Zwifters, who are also professionals like Freddie Ovett, who's the son of the amazing Steve Ovett, as I used to watch as a kid on BBC, taking on Sebco and beating him most of the time, which was fantastic. So as you can see some of the footage going on behind me, incredible footage supplied by Zwift, great stuff to see, and the community we've had the opportunity to ride. And the height of lockdown, interestingly enough, on Zwift alone, I know Zwift is just one of the platforms, there were 30,000 people at any one time you logged on to Zwift. And it's gone down to about 10,000 at peak here in the UK. Round about that. The other morning I logged on to the Etape de Tour, which Zwift are putting on. There was about 10,000 people on Zwift, but there were in fact 4,500 to 5,000 people logged on to the Etape. So it's half the population on there. So it's a huge participation event. As you can see here on the screen behind me, what we've got is the leading men's and women's teams. By the time you've seen this, it might have updated again because it's next weekend. So those are the teams, and what we've done is we've put in our own league table by listing what turbo trainers the teams use. TIBCO Silicon Valley, we think they use 4i. Trying to get clarification on that, waiting for that back, but we know the rest are correct. Anyway, that shows you what's going on there. So have a look. It's live streamed everywhere. It's available on YouTube to watch again. It's really good stuff. NTT sent us this picture on Twitter, and that's the NTT team working away on Tacx Neo 2s by the looks of it. Great setup. The only thing we notice on this, the guys have got all the gadgets, they've got everything, they've got loads of fans, dehumidifiers, but what they don't have is big screens. They've got tiny little screens, so they must have amazing eyesight. Also, we will soon be riding up Von 2 on Zwift. I know it's available on the other platforms, but it's called Von Top, and the Zwift Insider website, great place to go and look at. They've got a verified Strava segment, 7% average grade, and on that segment we've got listed the women's and men's leaderboards. In second place, living not far from where I'm filming this, is Claire Reid from the KISS Racing team, with other people on there from the KISS Racing team as well. So well done to you all. And also leading the men's leaderboard is Jonathan Levy of Zwift Hype, Zwift Hacks, and also the winner of many Pro-Am events on Zwift. So see how you can get on, go on there. They're all on there. If you can get on Von 2 early, get on it. You would have seen we would have last week or the week before's video, we showed you how to get on all the world maps anyway. You can have a look on the Zwift Hacks website, tells you how to do that, but Zwift will be showing them this weekend, will actually be featuring them this weekend, so you can ride them. Now, just picking up mainly from UK Zwifters' Facebook page and Zwift Riders is some of the feedback from people. People are complaining that they're going onto these French events and their computers are crashing. And they're blaming Zwift. Now, you know, those of us who've been here from beta times, we remember it when it was far more shaky than this, when we used to have conversations with Zwift support about what our ping was and all that sort of stuff. Don't tend to hear that too much nowadays. But honestly, it's probably down to your kit. You don't want to hear that. If you're running an Apple TV and a really great broadband, you're probably having no issues. If you've got a really good gaming PC and really good broadband, you're probably having no issues. Honestly, it probably is your kit. You don't want to hear it, but what I recommend as well is use the Zwiftalizer. We'll put a link below. If you go onto Zwiftalizer website, that will test your equipment and tell you just how effective your setup is and give you an idea, and probably save you a lot of time, effort, frustration and money in the future. So some other stuff we picked up. I've noticed this before when I ran along, you get people sinking into the pavé on Zwift, and that's a great from Fred Bernand, who's just taken a great screenshot of himself. Very impressive, by the way, in the pink jersey. And that's what's happened to him, and that just gives you a bit of an idea of the cobbles on the French course. It's really good how the sound changes as you go over there. Alistair Jones got a big question of the week. Big question of the week is, when you're setting your avatar on Zwift, how high do you have your socks? He's got the minimum and the maximum. Really, I don't care. I have them on minimum, but apparently it's more aerodynamic to have them long, but not on Zwift. It doesn't matter. It's all about fashion. Totally up to you. But there were loads of comments on that. Go on to Zwift Riders Facebook and have a look more about that one. So we've got a question from Ellie Cake. I don't know if that's a real name. We used to have Cake Power racing once upon a time, the man behind Zwift Power. But Cake Power, James Hodges, but this is Ellie Cake, might be related. But anyway, so she's saying she's new to Zwift. Is it worth just having the unlock bikes, or actually spending the drops on the bikes in the drop shop? What I would say is, and I know somebody else is asking a similar question as well with regard to his Tron, and he's getting fed up with his Tron. What I would say is, go on to Zwift Insider. They've worked it all out. They've sent bots round and they've worked on different bikes and wheel combinations for different types of courses and worked out what's best. And I would actually take a deep dive into there. Maybe we'll do a video on it one day, but and even speak to Eric Schultz about it. But just go in there and just get what you like riding. Personally, I tend to find that the Tron works for everything, but it's also nice replicating your own bike and riding around on that on Zwift as well. So that's the Zwift Insider. They've got everything on there. I'd say it's just a brilliant facility. One question you might be asking about, and I've heard that people from Zwift have been saying about this for some time on podcasts, is when is Zwift rowing coming? Just saw this humorous one coming up. Is it coming anytime soon? People have seen on the maps pontoons and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe. And that would definitely be. So we've got running, cycling, and then they've got rowing. That would be step ahead of probably everybody else. Featuring some of the stuff that's just occurring from the community, Derby Arena Velodrome is currently closed. A lot of the guys off there have got together and have run, they use the meetup facility on Zwift, start 2 minutes ahead. Duncan Partington, Duncan, I hope you got your name right, mate, does some brilliant commentary on this and streams it. But it's really good. Say 3 groups, 2 minutes apart, top track riders, and people like the amazing Graham Truelove, who's in his 70s, who can still knock out 5 watts per kilogram off the neutralised start. But it's we'll put a link for that below somewhere and have a look at that and look at the live stream. It's really spot on, and they're hoping to take this outside of meetups into a larger event, but it's very successful. Okay, enough of Zwift for now, because we forget there's other platforms, and one of the emerging platforms is RGT, and you can see here this is a race going on RGT. RGT, if you go onto Facebook, there's the RGT users group, sitting at about 5,000 people are registered on there at the moment, and also there's an RGT events Facebook page as well, where people are organising stuff and putting stuff on. It's more akin to the early days of Zwift, bit more advanced than that, of course, because Zwift are learning the way, but RGT have got some good stuff on there, good races. Some of us will remember the Our Giro event that the cycling podcast put on at the start of lockdown, which the Giro would have been on. It was brilliant. Lots of people got involved in that, and I think people are getting hooked on the racing in RGT, and it's really good stuff. And what we're showing you here is a couple of people who have done some great videos. Once again, we put links below explaining how to set up Magic Roads, which is a way of designing using your own courses that you ride in the real world when you go outside. And you can upload those into RGT and ride them in RGT, all your favourite courses, or courses you create in Strava, and that's really good. And also there's more stuff about the RGT events, and we'll put a link to that. But check out the RGT Facebook users group. Seriously, great stuff. And I know there's Full Gas, and I know there's Rovi and all that sort of stuff, and we'll talk about those more in the future. But that's where most of the stuff's going on. Now, I know this is called This Week in Indoor Cycling, but shall we call it This Week in Indoor Cycling and Running? I don't know. But anyway, it's running. So if you're into running and you like standing on a running machine, treadmill, and running away with a foot pod and all that sort of stuff, Zwift have got lots of stuff on next week. On Watopia course, for running festival up to half marathon distance. So great stuff if you're into that sort of stuff. And just a bit of fun that I picked up on the internet. People suffer from sore bottoms, shall we say, when they're on their turbo trainer for a long period of time. And, you know, get out your saddle regular, use Nagia cream and have decent shorts. That's my advice. But also saddles are unique things. And believe it or not, somebody has designed and selling this saddle for 30 odd pounds UK. That's probably about 22p in America or something like that. They're selling that, and believe it looks like handlebars. So that's us. We've had a great week in indoor cycling. We've had the virtual Tour de France. We've had our own events we can ride around the Tour de France to the tap. RGT is putting loads of good stuff on. Still talk about rowing and some strange saddles. But we'll see you next week, and more news from indoor cycling. If you want to comment, please comment below. Please, as I say, please like, subscribe, put notifications on, that sort of stuff. And also be really good if you could send stuff in for us to feature on here, and we'll give you a mention. So thanks ever so much. Ride on.